on a bone-chilling January morning in Clearwater, Minnesota. Single dad, Jack Thompson hears a scream from the frozen lake plunging into icy waters to save a stranger, only to face the ghost of his past. Emily Carter, the love he lost 15 years ago. Before we dive into this tale, please hit that like button to support kindness in real life. Thank you for being here. The wind howled across Clearwater that January morning, sharp as a blade. Snow dusted the streets, clinging to Jack Thompson's worn work boots. He pulled his threadbare coat tighter, his breath puffing white in the pre-dawn chill. 35 years old, broad-shouldered, with calloused hands and tired green eyes, Jack was a man who carried his burdens quietly. 2 jobs cutting lumber at Olson's mill, cleaning offices at the town hall kept him moving. All for Ethan, his 10-year-old son, whose dreams of becoming an astronaut lit up Jack's world. Jack's shift at the mill had ended at 5 hours a.m. His bones ached, his back screaming from hauling logs. Now, he trudged toward the town hall. The second job waiting, 6 blocks through the dark. Past shuttered shops, past the neon glow of Martha's diner. The world was still asleep, except for Lake Clearwater. Its frozen surface glinting under the streetlights. Jack glanced at it. A pang in his chest. That lake held memories, some sweet, some bitter. He pushed them down, focusing on the road ahead. Ethan was at home, asleep above Larson's hardware. Their apartment was small, the fridge often empty, the heater temperamental. But it was theirs. Ethan's star charts covered the walls. His NASA posters dog-eared from dreaming. Jack smiled. Thinking of his boy's gap-toothed grin, Ethan wanted the stars. Jack would work himself raw to give them to him. At the town hall, Jack mopped the floors, the scent of pine cleaner stinging his nose. His reflection in the windows looked older than his years' stubble on his jaw, dark circles under his eyes. He'd been up since yesterday morning, no rest in sight. A door creaked, and Amy, the town clerk, poked her head in. Jack, you're early again? Don't you ever sleep? He managed a grin, his voice rough. Sleep's overrated. Amy, gotta keep the lights on. She shook her head, holding out a thermos. Coffee. Take it. Ethan's science project got an A, by the way. Kid's a genius. Jack's chest swelled, pride cutting through his fatigue. That's my boy. Thanks. Amy. He sipped the coffee, its warmth spreading. Ethan had spent weeks on that project, a model rocket, built from scraps. Jack had stayed up late, helping glue fins. His fingers sticky, Ethan's laughter filling the room. Moments like that, they made the grind worth it. By 7 hours a.m., Jack finished, his hands raw, his coat damp from snow. He stepped outside, the cold slapping his face. The sky was lightening. Streaks of gold over the lake. He pulled out a sandwich Ethan had made peanut butter. Crusts cut off, wrapped in foil. A note was tucked inside. Love you, Dad. Don't work too hard. Jack's throat tightened. Ethan was growing up too fast, worrying like an adult. Jack hated that. But what could he do? Bills didn't pay themselves. He started the walk home, the lake stretching beside him. Ice fishermen dotted its edge, their poles bobbing. Warning signs stood every few yards. Thin ice. Danger. The lake had claimed lives before. Jack's mother used to warn him, her voice sharp. Stay off that ice, Jackie. He'd listen, mostly, but as a teenager, he'd skated there, hand in hand with Emily Carter, the girl who'd stolen his heart and broken it. Emily. The name stung. Even now, 15 years ago, she'd been his world. Dark curls, blue eyes that saw through him, a laugh that warmed the coldest nights. They'd planned a life together, dreaming by this lake. Then, one summer night, she was gone. No note, no goodbye. Just rumors her family in trouble, her father's investigations stirring up enemies. Jack had waited, searched, begged for answers. Nothing. She'd vanished, leaving a hole he'd never filled. He shook his head, shoving the memory away. That was then. Now was Ethan. The mill, the town hall, the endless fight to keep going. He took a bite of the sandwich, the peanut butter sticking to his throat, his phone ancient. Cracked, buzzed. A message from Ethan's teacher. Ethan's rocket is state-bound. Big opportunity. But travel costs apply. Let's talk. Jack's heart leapt, then sank. State competition meant hotels, gas, food, money he didn't have. He'd figure it out. He always did. The lake shimmered, its ice catching the sunrise. A lone figure moved in the distance, gliding across the surface. Jack paused, watching. They moved with grace, carving arcs in the ice. For a moment, he was 17 again. Emily teaching him to skate, her hands steadying his clumsy feet. Come on, Jack. She'd laughed. Don't fall. He'd fallen anyway into her arms, into love. The memory burned, and he turned away. Then, a sound shattered the quiet, a scream. High and desperate, Jack froze, his sandwich dropping to the snow. Another scream. From the lake. The skater was gone. A dark patch marred the ice, a hole where they'd been. His heart slammed against his ribs. Someone was in trouble. Jack ran, his boots slipping on the snow. The warning signs flashed past, but he didn't care. The screams grew weaker, panicked splashes echoing. He reached the lake's edge, his breath ragged. Through the mist, he saw her dark hair, hands clawing at the ice, her body sinking. She was drowning, the cold stealing her strength. Hold on, he shouted, his voice raw. He kicked off his boots, shrugged off his coat. The ice creaked under his weight. But he kept moving, crawling toward the hole. His lifeguard training from high school kicked in. Don't panic. Don't hesitate. The cold was a killer, faster than drowning. He had minutes, maybe less. At the hole, he saw her face. Pale, lips blue, eyes wide with terror. Her hands slipped, her head dipping under. Jack dove, the water a shock, like knives in his lungs. Darkness closed in, the cold numbing his limbs. He kicked, his arms searching. Finding her coat, he grabbed it, pulling her toward him. Her eyes met his, fading, but alive. Stay with me, he gasped, his teeth chattering. She clung to him, weak, her weight dragging them down. The surface was above, a jagged circle of light. Jack kicked, his lungs burning, his muscles screaming. They broke through, gasping, the air like fire in his chest. The ice kept breaking, crumbling under his hands. He tried to pull her out, but it gave way, plunging them back. Come on, he growled, fighting the cold. Her lips moved, no sound. Her face ghostly. Jack thought of Ethan. His grin, his rocket. He couldn't fail, not now. Voices shouted in the distance. Help was coming, but they couldn't wait. Jack remembered his training. Go under. Find solid ice. Deep breath. He said, her eyes flickering. They sank, the cold crushing, then surged up, angling toward thicker ice. This time, he rolled them onto it. The surface holding, she coughed, shivering, her breath shallow. Jack collapsed beside her, his body numb. You're okay, he panted. You're okay. Her face turned, and he froze, those eyes blue, piercing, unforgettable. Emily, he whispered, his voice breaking. She blinked. Recognition dawning. Jack. Her voice was faint, a ghost from the past. Before he could speak, paramedics swarmed, blankets wrapping them, hands pulling them apart. Thank you, she mouthed, her eyes locked on his. Then she was gone, carried to an ambulance. "Sir, can you hear me?" a paramedic asked, his face blurring. "Your name?" "Jack Thompson," he slurred, his body shaking. "My son, Ethan." "We'll call him," the paramedic said. "You're a hero." "Mr. Thompson." Jack's vision dimmed, the lake fading. His coat lay on the ice, Ethan's sandwich beside it. He thought of Emily, her face, her voice. Here, now. Was it real? Or was the cold playing tricks? As darkness took him, one thought lingered. She was alive, and she was back. Jack woke to beeping, the hospital's sterile light stinging his eyes. His body felt heavy, IV lines snaking from his arm. Ethan sat beside him, his brown eyes wide, his NASA hoodie too big. "Dad," he cried, grabbing Jack's hand. "You scared me." "Hey, buddy," Jack rasped, his throat raw. "Sorry, missed breakfast." Ethan laughed, tears falling. "You saved her." "Dad." "It's all over the news." Jack blinked, the fog clearing. A TV hummed. The local anchor's voice low. "Heroic rescue at Lake Clearwater. Single father Jack Thompson risks life to save woman." He tuned it out, looking at Ethan. "You okay?" "Yeah," Ethan said, wiping his eyes. "Mrs. Larson's with me. She says you're a lunatic, but a brave one." Jack chuckled, wincing. Mrs. Larson, their landlord, had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. "Where's the woman?" "Stable," a nurse said, checking his chart. "No name released. Privacy. You know, you're lucky." "Mr. Thompson, hypothermia's no joke." Jack nodded, his mind on Emily. Was it really her? After 15 years. He remembered her face under the ice, the way she'd said his name. His heart raced, the monitor beeping faster. Ethan squeezed his hand. "Dad, rest. Doctor's orders. 2 days here," the nurse added. "Then home, with rest. No work," Jack groaned. No work meant no pay. Ethan's rocket trip. The bills. But he nodded. For Ethan's sake. "Okay, buddy. You aced that math test." Ethan grinned. A+. "And, I told NASA about you. They'd hire you, Dad." Jack laughed, the sound weak but real. One hero at a time. "Kid." A knock came, and a hospital administrator entered, holding an envelope. "Mr. Thompson, your bill, it's been paid. In full. By the woman you saved." Jack stared, his chest tight. "Who is she?" "No name," the administrator said, "but she left this." She handed him the envelope. Inside, a note. "Thank you, Jack. I owe you everything." His hands shook. That handwriting slanted. Elegant. Emily's. "Dad." Ethan's voice was soft. "You know her." Jack hesitated. The past rushing back. "Maybe. Buddy. Long time ago." Ethan didn't push, curling up beside him. Jack held the note. Emily's face in his mind. She was alive. Here. Paying his bills. Why? And why now? He closed his eyes. Exhaustion winning. Whatever came next, he'd face it. For Ethan. For himself. And maybe for her. Clearwater buzzed with the rescue. Jack's name on every tongue. At Martha's Diner, regulars swapped stories, Jack fixing their cars. Coaching Ethan's little league. Always there when someone needed him. "He's a good man," Martha said. "Pouring coffee. Deserves a break." But Jack, home now, felt no hero. His body ached. His savings thin. Ethan's rocket trip loomed. $300 he didn't have. He sat at their table. Bills spread out. Ethan's star charts above. The note from Emily burned in his pocket. He hadn't told Ethan. Not yet. How do you explain a love lost? a wound that never healed. A knock broke his thoughts. Amy stood at the door, holding a casserole. Towns talking. Jack, you're famous. He forced a smile. Taking the dish. Just did what anyone would. No, Amy said, her eyes soft. Not anyone. You okay? He nodded. Lying. Yeah. Thanks, Amy. She left, and Jack sat. The casserole untouched. Ethan was at school. The apartment quiet. He pulled out the note. Rereading it. I owe you everything. What did that mean? Why was Emily back? And why hadn't she come to him? The phone rang. The hospital. Mr. Thompson. The woman, she's gone. Checked out this morning. Left no contact. Jack's heart sank. Thanks, he said, hanging up. Gone again, just like before. He stood, anger mixing with hope. Clearwater was small. If Emily was here, he'd find her, for answers, for closure, or maybe for something more. That afternoon, Jack walked to the lake. His coat new, bought with his last paycheck. Ethan insisting after the old one was ruined. The ice was roped off now, the hole gone. But the memory lingered. He stood where he'd saved her, his breath clouding. Emily, he whispered. Where are you? A voice answered, soft, familiar. Right here. Jack. He turned, his heart stopping. She stood there, bundled in a coat, her dark curls loose, her blue eyes bright, older. Yes, but still Emily. His Emily. You're real, he said, his voice thick. She nodded, stepping closer. I'm real. And I'm sorry. For what? He asked, his chest tight. Leaving or coming back? Both, she said, her voice breaking. Jack, we need to talk. He stared, the lake silent around them. 15 years of questions burned in his throat. Why she left, why she was here, what she wanted. But her eyes held something: fear, hope, love. He nodded, his voice low. Yeah, Emily, we do. The wind off Lake Clearwater cut sharp, tugging at Emily Carter's scarf as she faced Jack Thompson. Her blue eyes, bright against the winter gray, held a storm of emotions: guilt, fear, something softer. Jack stood rooted, his green eyes searching her face, 15 years of questions burning in his chest. The lake stretched behind them, its ice a silent witness to their reunion. Emily's breath clouded, her voice trembling. Jack, I never thought I'd see you again. Jack's jaw tightened, his hands balling in his pockets. Yeah, you made sure of that. Didn't you? Left without a word, she flinched, her gaze dropping. I had to. You don't understand. Then make me, he said, his voice low, raw. 15 years. Emily, I waited, searched, nothing. Now you're here, and I pull you out of that lake. What's going on? Emily glanced around, her eyes darting to the empty shore. Not here. Please, somewhere, safe. Jack frowned, catching her fear. Safe from what? She stepped closer, her voice a whisper. I'll explain, I promise. But not out here. He hesitated, the old ache of her absence warring with the need for answers. Her face, older but still hers, stirred memories, nights by this lake. Her laugh, her hand in his. He nodded, gruff. Martha's diner, neutral ground. Ethan's at school. We've got time. Emily nodded, relief flickering. Okay, Martha's. They walked in silence, the crunch of snow under their boots the only sound. Clearwater streets were quiet, shops just opening. The air thick with winter. Jack stole glances at Emily, her dark curls escaping her scarf, her hands trembling despite her gloves. She wasn't the girl he'd loved. She was a stranger, yet not. His heart twisted, torn between anger and hope. At Martha's diner, The bell jingled as they entered. The scent of coffee and bacon hit them, warm against the cold. Martha, gray-haired and sharp-eyed, looked up from the counter. Jack Thompson, hero of the hour. And her eyes narrowed, landing on Emily. Well, I'll be Emily Carter. Emily managed a small smile. Hi, Martha. Been a while. 15 years, Martha said, her tone cool. Coffee. Please, Jack said, leading Emily to a corner booth. The diner was half empty, Joe from the mill at the counter. A few farmers by the window. Eyes followed them. Whispers starting. Jack ignored them, sliding into the booth. Emily across from him. Martha brought 2 mugs, steam rising. On the house, for the hero. She glanced at Emily, then left. Jack wrapped his hands around the mug, the heat grounding him. Talk, Emily. Why'd you leave? Why now? Emily stared into her coffee, her fingers tracing the rim. I didn't want to leave, Jack. You have to believe that. Hard to believe when you vanished, he said, his voice tight. No note, no call. I thought you were dead. Her eyes met his, glistening. I'm sorry. I was 18, scared. My dad, he found something bad. Jack leaned forward, his voice low. Your dad was a reporter, always chasing stories. What did he find? Emily took a shaky breath. Corruption, big money, tied to the town council, Sheriff Brody, some businessmen. They were skimming county funds, selling land under the table. Dad was going to expose them. Jack's brow furrowed. Brody. He retired years ago. Died last spring. Yeah, Emily said, her voice bitter. Convenient, right? Back then, he was powerful. Dad got too close. They threatened him. Threatened us. Jack's hands tightened on the mug. Us. You. She nodded, her voice barely audible. One night, someone broke into our house. Left a note. Had to stop digging, or your daughter pays. Dad was terrified. He made me leave, Jack. Sent me to my aunt in Chicago. Told me to cut contact. For my safety. For yours. Jack's chest tightened, anger mixing with pain. You could have told me. I would have helped. How? She asked, her eyes pleading. You were 19, Almcestas, working at the mill. They would have hurt you. I couldn't let that happen. So you let me think you didn't care. His voice cracked. Do you know what that did to me? Tears spilled down her cheeks. I cared. Jack, every day. I wrote you letters, hundreds. Never sent them. I thought you'd moved on. Jack laughed, bitter. Moved on. I married Sarah because she was kind. Because Ethan needed a mom. But you were always there. Emily, a ghost. Emily's hand reached for his, then stopped, hovering. I didn't know about Sarah. Or Ethan. I'm so sorry. He pulled back, his voice hard. Why are you here now? Why the lake? She wiped her eyes, steadying herself. I'm a journalist. Like Dad. I've been chasing his story. Those men. They're still out there. New names. Same game. I came back to finish what he started. Jack's eyes narrowed. You're poking a hornet's nest. That why you were on the ice? She hesitated. I was meeting someone. A source. They didn't show. I was walking, not thinking. The ice gave way. Convenient, he said, echoing her earlier bitterness. And now, you're staying. She nodded, her jaw set. I have to. For Dad. For the truth. Jack leaned back, the booth creaking. And what about us? What was I to you? Out there. Her eyes softened, raw. You were Jack, my Jack. Saving me. It broke me, seeing you again. I didn't plan this. He wanted to believe her. wanted to reach across and pull her close, but the years stood between them. A chasm of hurt. "I've got Ethan now," he said. "He's my world. I won't let your fight touch him. I'd never hurt him," she said, fierce. "Or you. I'll stay away. If that's what you want." Jack's heart twisted. He didn't want that, but trust was fragile, and Ethan came first. "I need time." "Emily, to think." She nodded, her voice small. "I'm at the Clearwater Inn, room 12. If you change your mind." He stood, leaving cash for the coffee despite Martha's offer. "Take care of yourself." "Emily." She watched him go, her heart breaking again. "You too." Jack, outside. The cold hit Jack like a fist. He walked, his mind spinning. Emily's story made sense, her dad's crusades, the threats, but it didn't erase the pain. The nights he'd lain awake, wondering why she'd left. He passed the lake, its ice mocking him. She was back, but for how long? And at what cost? At home. Jack found Ethan at the table, his rocket model half built. "Dad," Ethan grinned, glue on his fingers. "You're early." Jack ruffled his hair, forcing a smile. "Thought I'd help with that rocket. How's it going?" "Good," Ethan said, holding up a fin. "Mrs. Larson says I'm going to win state." Jack's chest ached. The $300 looming. "You will. Buddy, you're a star." Ethan's eyes narrowed, too sharp for 10 cents. "You okay, Dad?" "You look sad." Jack hesitated, then sat. "Just saw an old friend. Brought up memories." "Mom?" Ethan asked, his voice soft. Sarah had died when he was 3, her heart failing after years of illness. Ethan knew her through stories, her photo by his bed. "No," Jack said. "Careful, someone from before. Long time ago." Ethan nodded. "Not pushing. You can tell me." "Dad, when you're ready." Jack hugged him, his throat tight. "Thanks, buddy. Love you. Love you too," Ethan said, diving back into his rocket. Jack watched, Emily's words echoing. They threatened us. Was she in danger now? And if he helped her, would it pull Ethan into the crossfire? That evening, Jack cooked spaghetti, the kitchen warm, Ethan's chatter filling the silence. But his mind was on Emily, her fear, her determination. After Ethan slept, Jack pulled out an old shoebox from his closet. Inside, faded photos. A mixtape, a silver bracelet he'd given Emily at 17. He traced its curve, remembering her wrist, her smile. He'd kept it all. Unable to let go, the phone rang. Startling him, Amy's voice crackled. "Jack, you hear about the break-in?" His gut twisted. "What break-in?" "Clearwater Inn," she said. "Last night, someone trashed a room. Cops aren't saying whose." Jack's blood ran cold. "Room 12. A pause. "Yeah, how'd you know?" "Lucky guess." He lied, his heart racing. "Anyone hurt?" "No, but it's weird." "Jack, town's on edge." He hung up, grabbing his coat. Emily was in trouble. He couldn't stay away. Not now. He called Mrs. Larson, asking her to check on Ethan, then drove to the inn, his truck rattling over icy roads. The Clearwater Inn was a low brick building, its neon sign flickering. Police tape cordoned off one wing, a deputy by the door. Jack parked, his breath short. He approached, casual. "Heard about the break-in. Everything okay?" Deputy Miller, young and nervous, nodded. "Under control." "Jack, no one hurt." "Whose room?" Jack asked, his voice steady. Miller hesitated. "Can't say. Ongoing investigation." Jack nodded, backing off. He circled the building, spotting room 12's window. Its glass intact, but curtains drawn. No sign of Emily. He knocked on the office door, finding Mr. Hayes, the manager. Inside, Jack. "What's up?" "Looking for a friend," Jack said. "Emily Carter." "She okay?" Hayes frowned. Glancing at the deputy outside, "She's fine." "Move to another room. Cops told her to lay low." "Where is she?" Jack pressed. Hayes sighed. "Room 20. Back wing." "But Jack, she's shaken." "Be careful." Jack nodded. Heading to the back. Room 20's door was plain. Its light off. He knocked. Soft. "Emily." "It's Jack." A pause. Then the door opened. Emily stood there, pale, her hair loose, a sweater hugging her frame. "Jack, how'd you heard about the break-in?" he said, stepping inside. The room was small, a suitcase open, papers scattered. "You hurt?" "No," she said, shutting the door. "But they were looking for something." "Who?" he asked, his voice hard. "What's going on?" She sank onto the bed, her hands shaking. "I don't know who, but I have Dad's files, his notes, evidence. Someone wants them." Jack's eyes narrowed. "The same people who threatened you." "Maybe," she said, her voice small. "Or someone new. I shouldn't have come back." He knelt before her, his voice firm. "You're here now. Tell me everything." She met his eyes, her fear raw. "Dad's files. They name names. Brody was just the start. There's a man, Victor Hale. Owns half the county now. Real estate. Logging. He was in on it then. Still is." Jack's blood chilled. Hale was a big name in Clearwater Rich. Connected. Untouchable. "You're saying Hale trashed your room?" "Or his people," she said. "I was careful, Jack. Used a fake name at the inn, but they found me." He stood, pacing. "Why keep digging? You're risking your life." "For Dad," she said. "Fierce. He died for this. Heart attack, they said. But I don't believe it. I owe him the truth." Jack stopped, her words hitting hard. He knew lost Sarah's death, Ethan's small hand in his at the funeral. "And Ethan, what if they come for you again? What if they hurt him?" Her face crumpled. "I'd never let that happen. I'll leave." "Jack, tonight." "No," he said, surprising himself. "You're not running." "Not again." She blinked, tears falling. "Why? After everything, why help me?" He stepped closer, his voice soft. "Because I loved you. Emily, maybe I still do. And I won't let you face this alone." Her breath caught, her eyes searching his. "Jack, I don't deserve you." "Maybe not," he said, a faint smile. "But you've got me." They stood, the room quiet, the past and present colliding. Emily reached for his hand, her touch warm, tentative. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me yet," he said. "We need a plan. Where are the files?" "Safe," she said. "Hidden. I'll show you." "But not tonight. It's too dangerous." He nodded, his mind racing. "Stay here. Lock the door." "I'll be back tomorrow." She nodded, her hand lingering in his. "Be careful." "Jack." He left, the cold night closing in. His truck roared to life, but his thoughts were on Emily, her fear, her fight, her touch. He'd jumped into that lake without thinking. Now, he was diving into something bigger, riskier. For her, for them. Morning came, gray and heavy. Jack woke to Ethan's voice, bright in the kitchen. "Dad." "I made toast." Jack smiled, pulling on his shirt. "Smells burnt." "Buddy," Ethan grinned, his plate piled high. "It's crispy." "Want some?" Jack sat, ruffling his hair. "Sure." "How's school?" "Good," Ethan said, munching. "But Everyone's talking about you, the lake, the lady. Who is she? Jack paused, choosing his words. An old friend. Helped her out of a bad spot. Ethan's eyes narrowed. She important. Jack met his gaze. Honest. She was. Might be again. You okay with that? Ethan shrugged. Thoughtful. If she makes you happy. Yeah. You're always sad. Dad. Jack's throat tightened. His hand on Ethan's shoulder. Not when I'm with you. After breakfast, Jack dropped Ethan at school. His truck rattling. The town buzzed whispers at the gas station. Eyes following him. He drove to the inn. His heart pounding. Emily was waiting. Her coat on. Her eyes tired but clear. Ready? She asked. Sliding into the truck. Yeah, he said. Where to? She hesitated. Old Mill Road. There's a cabin. Dad's old place. The files are there. Jack nodded. The road stretching ahead. The cabin was miles out. Abandoned since her dad's death. If Hale's people were watching, they'd be exposed. Anyone know you're here? He asked. No, she said, her voice firm. Just you. They drove in silence. Snow falling soft. Jack's mind churned Hale. The break-in. Ethan's safety. Emily's hand rested on the seat, inches from his. He wanted to take it, to bridge the years. But not yet. Not until he knew the truth. The cabin loomed, its roof sagging. Windows dark. Jack parked, scanning the woods. Stay close, he said, grabbing a flashlight. Inside, the air was stale. Dust thick. Emily led him to a loose floorboard. Pulling it up, a metal box lay beneath. Locked. She opened it, revealing papers, photos. A notebook. Dad's work, she said, her voice reverent. Proof. Jack skimmed a page names. Dates. Bank accounts. Hale's name jumped out, circled in red. This is enough, he asked. To start, she said. I need more. Witnesses. Records. A twig snapped outside, sharp in the quiet. Jack froze, his hand on her arm. Someone's here. Emily's eyes widened, fear flashing. They followed us. He killed the flashlight. Pulling her low, footsteps crunched. Slow, deliberate. A shadow passed the window. Tall, broad. Jack's heart raced. Ethan's face in his mind. He'd protect her. Whatever it took, stay here, he whispered, grabbing a fire poker. Don't move, she nodded. Clutching the box, Jack crept to the door, his grip tight. The past had found them, and it wasn't letting go. Jack Thompson gripped the fire poker, his knuckles white, as the shadow moved outside the cabin. The air inside was thick with dust and fear. The only sound, Emily Carter's shallow breathing behind him. The footsteps crunched closer, deliberate. On the snow-dusted porch, Jack's heart pounded. Ethan's face flashing in his mind, his son. Safe at school, unaware of the danger creeping into their lives. He glanced at Emily, crouched by the open floorboard, clutching her father's metal box of secrets. Her blue eyes, wide with terror, met his, and he saw the girl he'd loved, now a woman carrying a war he hadn't chosen. But he was in it now, for her, for them. Stay down, Jack whispered, his voice low. Steady, he edged toward the door, the poker raised, his boots silent on the creaking floor. The shadow paused, a silhouette against the grimy window. Broad and tall, a man's shape. Jack's mind raced Victor Hale's people, the ones who'd trashed Emily's room. Or someone else, stirred by her digging into Clearwater's buried corruption. The door rattled, the knob turning slow. Jack tensed, ready to swing. Then a voice, gruff but familiar, cut through the quiet. Jack. You in there? Jack froze, his grip loosening. Tom, he hissed, lowering the poker. He cracked the door. peering out. Tom Miller, his foreman at Olson's mill, stood on the porch, his weathered face puzzled. A shotgun slung over his shoulder. His gray hair was dusted with snow. His work jacket patched at the elbows. Damn. Jack, what are you doing out here? Tom said, his voice low. Glancing at the woods, saw your truck. Thought you were hunting. Jack exhaled, his heart slowing, but suspicion lingered. What are you doing here? Tom, this ain't your land. Tom shrugged, leaning on the porch rail, checking traps. Got a coyote problem. You okay? Look like you've seen a ghost. Jack glanced back at Emily, still hidden, her eyes questioning. He stepped outside, pulling the door half shut. Just needed a quiet place. Ethan's project. You know, Tom nodded, but his eyes narrowed, flicking to the cabin. Heard about the lake. You pulling that woman out. Town's buzzing. Jack. Some say she's trouble. Jack's jaw tightened. She's a friend. That's all. Tom grunted, unconvinced. Careful, Jack. Clearwater's got eyes and memories. He tipped his hat, turning away. Stay safe, hero. Jack watched him go, his boots crunching into the woods, the shotgun glinting. Tom was a friend, had been for years, but his timing felt wrong. Jack slipped back inside, locking the door. Emily stood, the box in her arms, her face pale. Who was that? Tom Miller, Jack said, setting the poker down. Works with me at the mill. Says he was checking traps. You trust him? She asked, her voice sharp. Jack hesitated, the question cutting deep. I did. Now, I don't know. Emily nodded, her hands trembling as she set the box on a dusty table. We can't stay here, Jack. If he saw us, others might. Jack ran a hand through his hair, frustration building. Where, then? Your room's compromised. My place, Ethan's there. I won't risk him. I know, she said, soft, stepping closer. I have a contact. A friend in Minneapolis. She can hide us. Help me publish Dad's story. Jack's eyes narrowed. Run again. That's your plan. No, she said. Fierce, not run. Fight, but smart. I need time, Jack, to verify the files, find witnesses. Hale's got this town in his pocket. Jack paced. The cabin's walls closing in. Victor Hale, real estate king. Logging baron. Clearwater's shadow ruler. His name in her father's files tied him to stolen funds, rigged deals. Maybe worse. If Emily was right, Hale wouldn't stop at a break-in. And Ethan? Jack asked, his voice hard. I leave. He's a target. Emily's face softened, pain flickering. I'd never ask you to leave him. Bring him. We'll protect him. Jack laughed. Bitter. Protect him. You're dodging shadows. Emily. I can't uproot his life for your crusade. It's not a crusade, she snapped, her eyes blazing. It's justice. For Dad. For everyone they've hurt. And what about us? Jack shot back, stepping close, his voice raw. You left me once to keep me safe. Now you're back, dragging me into this. What am I to you? Emily. A shield. A memory. Her breath caught, tears welling. You're everything. I never stopped loving you. Jack, leaving you broke me. But I can't stop now. I owe Dad this. Jack's chest ached, her words a knife. He wanted to pull her close, erase the years. But trust was a fragile thing, and Ethan's safety was iron. Show me the files, he said, his voice low, all of them. Then I decide. Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. She opened the box, spreading papers across the table ledgers, photos. Her father's cramped notes. A grainy shot showed Hale's, younger, shaking hands with Sheriff Brody. A suitcase between them, Another listed bank transfers. Thousands funneled through fake companies. Land deeds signed in ghost names. This, Emily said, tapping a note, ties Hale to a development deal in '87. County land. Sold cheap. Now, his dad traced the money. They silenced him for it. Jack scanned the pages, his gut twisting. Your dad, he was sure he died for it, she said, her voice breaking. Official report said heart attack, but he was healthy. Jack. 45. They got to him. Jack's hands clenched, anger rising. He'd known Emily's father stubborn, fearless, always chasing truth. If Hale had killed him, no wonder she'd come back. This is enough to start, he asked. It's a start, she said, but I need more. Someone who saw it, who'll talk. Jack nodded, his mind turning. Tom, he worked the mill back then, might know something. Emily's eyes sharpened. You think he'd talk? Maybe, Jack said. But if he's tied to Hale, we're walking blind. She touched his arm, her hand warm. We're not blind, Jack. We have each other. He met her gaze, the years falling away. Her touch sparked memories, her laugh, her lips, nights dreaming of a life together. But Ethan's face anchored him. Let's move the files, he said, somewhere safe. Then we talked to Tom. Emily nodded, packing the box. They left the cabin. The woods silent. Jack's truck waiting. He drove, Emily beside him. The box at her feet. The road wound through pines. Snow falling heavier now. Jack's eyes flicked to the rear view, watching for shadows. None followed. But the weight of danger clung tight. At Jack's apartment, Ethan was at school, the place quiet. Jack stashed the box under his bed, behind old tools. His hands steady but his mind racing. Emily stood by the window, looking out at Clearwater's streets, her face drawn. You're home, she said. Soft. It's warm. Jack glanced around the worn couch. Ethan's star charts. Sarah's photo by the lamp. It's enough, he said. For us. Emily turned, her eyes soft. Ethan, he's like you, kind eyes. Big dreams. Jack's throat tightened. He's my world. Sarah, she was good to him. Till she couldn't be. Emily stepped closer, her voice gentle. What happened to her? Jack sat, the couch creaking. Heart condition. Born with it. Fought hard. For Ethan. Died when he was 3. Emily's hand touched his. Lingering. I'm sorry. Jack, you deserved better. He looked at her, raw. I deserved you, but you left. Her eyes glistened, her voice breaking. I thought I was saving you. Jack pulled away. Standing, no more secrets. Emily, if we do this, you tell me everything. She nodded. Fierce, everything. I swear. He held her gaze, trust teetering. I'm picking Ethan up soon. Stay here, out of sight. I'll talk to Tom tonight, at the mill. Be careful, she said, her voice small. Hale's people, they don't play fair. Jack grabbed his coat, his jaw set. Neither do I, when it's my family. At Clearwater Elementary, Ethan ran out, his backpack bouncing, snow in his hair. Dad, we're building a telescope in science club. Jack smiled, lifting him into the truck. That's my astronaut. You eat lunch. Yeah, Ethan said, buckling up. But, Mrs. Larson says someone's asking about you. At the diner. Jack's grip tightened on the wheel. Who? Dunno, Ethan said, shrugging. Some guy in a suit. Not from here. Jack's blood chilled. But he kept his voice calm. Probably a reporter. Buddy, ignore it. Ethan nodded, but his eyes were sharp, like Sarah's when she sensed trouble. Jack drove, his mind on the suit. Hale's man, or Emily's source, gone rogue. He dropped Ethan at Mrs. Larson's, the old woman's eyes narrowing. Jack, you stirring up trouble. Just living. Mrs. Larson, he said, forcing a grin. Keep an eye on Ethan, always, she said, her voice soft. Be careful, boy. Jack nodded, heading to Olson's mill. The sun was setting, the sky bruised purple. The mill's saws humming. Tom was in the office, his boots up, a thermos of coffee steaming. Jack, he said, looking up, twice in one day. What's up? Jack closed the door, his voice low. Need to talk. Tom, about 87. County land deals. Tom's eyes flickered, his boots dropping to the floor. Old history. Jack, why dig it up? Friends asking. Jack said. Casual. Heard Hale was involved. You were around then. Tom leaned back, his face unreadable. Hale's always involved. Owns half the county. What's your friend want? Truth, Jack said, his eyes locked on Tom's. About Brody. The council, money moving quiet. Tom's jaw tightened, his hand on the thermos. Careful, Jack. Some truths ain't worth finding. Jack stepped closer, his voice hard. And some are. You know something. Tom. Tom stood, his shotgun by the desk. I know Clearwater's a small town. People talk. Your friend, she's the one from the lake, ain't she? Jack's heart skipped, but he held steady. What if she is? Tom sighed, rubbing his neck. I worked for Hale. Back then, small jobs. Hauling lumber. Saw things briefcases. Late night meetings. Brody was there. Hale, too. Never asked questions. Kept my head down. Jack's pulse raced. What did they move? Money. Tom said. Low. Land. County sold parcels dirt cheap. Hale built his empire on it. You'd swear to that? Jack asked, his voice urgent. Tom laughed. Bitter. Swear. To who? Hale's got cops. Judges. I got a family. Jack. Jack nodded, backing off. Fair enough. Thanks. Tom. Tom grabbed his arm. His grip tight. Drop this. Jack. For Ethan. They don't play nice. Jack pulled free, his eyes hard. Neither do I. Back home, Jack found Emily on the couch. Ethan's science book open, her face pale. He asleep? Jack asked, locking the door. Yeah, she said, standing. What did Tom say? Jack recounted it, his voice low. Hale. Brody. The money. Emily's eyes lit up. Fierce. That's it. Jack. Proof. If Tom talks, we've got him. He won't, Jack said. Grim. Too scared. And someone's asking about me. Suit. At the diner. Emily's face fell. Fear returning. Hale's people. They're closing in. Jack sat. Exhaustion hitting. We need a plan. Emily. Tomorrow. We move the files. Somewhere they can't find. Where? She asked, her voice small. My mom's old place, he said. Out by the quarry. No one goes there. She nodded, her hand touching his. Thank you, Jack, for believing me. He looked at her, the years softening. I don't know what this is, Emily. Us, but I'm here. Her eyes glistened, her voice a whisper. That's enough. For now. They sat, the apartment quiet. Ethan's snores faint. Jack's hand stayed in hers. Warm, real. Outside, snow fell. But inside, something stirred hope. Fragile but growing. Tomorrow, they'd fight. Tonight, they had this. Morning broke cold. The sky, steel gray. Jack woke to Ethan's voice. Bright. Dad. Snow day. Jack groaned. Smiling. No school. Huh. Nope. Ethan said. At the table. Cereal everywhere. Can we build a snowman? Later, buddy, Jack said, ruffling his hair. Got errands first. Ethan's eyes narrowed. With your friend. Jack paused, meeting his gaze. Yeah. She's helping with something. You okay? Ethan nodded. Thoughtful. She nice. Jack smiled. Soft. She is. You'll meet her soon. Emily emerged, her hair tied back, Ethan's book in hand. Morning. Ethan, she said. Shy, nice rocket. Ethan grinned, proud. Thanks. You like space. Love it, she said. Sitting. Ever read about the Apollo missions? Ethan's eyes lit up, and Jack watched. His heart full. Emily listened, nodding as Ethan rambled about astronauts, her smile real. For a moment, they were a family. The danger distant. After breakfast, Jack and Emily left Ethan with Mrs. Larson. The box in the truck. The quarry road was rough. Snow piling high. Jack's mom's house small. Boarded up stood alone, its chimney crumbling. They parked, Jack scanning the road. Clear, he said, grabbing the box. Inside, the air was stale, memories thick. Jack's mom had died 5 years ago, her laughter gone. He hid the box in the attic, under insulation, his hands steady. Emily watched, her coat tight. This'll do, she said, soft. Thank you, Jack nodded, dusting his hands. Now what? I need my source, she said. The one who didn't show at the lake. They know more. Who are they? Jack asked, his voice sharp. She hesitated. I don't know their name. Anonymous. Left me notes. At the inn. Said they worked for Hale. Jack's eyes narrowed. And you trust them? No, she said. Honest. But they're my only lead. He sighed, frustration rising. We're chasing ghosts. Emily. She touched his arm, her eyes fierce. Not ghosts. Truth. We're close. Jack. He held her gaze. Trust teetering. Fine. But we do this my way. No more secrets. Deal, she said. Her hand lingering. They left. The snow heavier, the truck slipping. Jack's mind churned Tom's warning. The suit. Ethan's safety. Emily's fight was his now. But the cost loomed, a shadow he couldn't shake. At the diner, Martha poured coffee, her eyes sharp. Jack, you look like hell. Trouble. Just life, he said, forcing a grin. Seen a guy in a suit, asking about me. Martha's face darkened. Yeah, yesterday. City type, flashy watch. Asked about you. The lake. Didn't like him. Jack nodded, his gut twisting. Thanks. Martha, keep an ear out. Always, she said, patting his hand. Emily sat silent, her coffee untouched. He's Hale's, she whispered. Has to be. Jack leaned close, his voice low. We find your source. Fast. Before they find us, she nodded, pulling out a note creased, handwritten. Meet me, Old Church. Midnight. Bring the files. Jack read it, his jaw tight. Midnight. That's a trap. Maybe, she said. Fierce, but it's my shot. Jack sighed, knowing she wouldn't back down. We go together. No files. Just us, she nodded. Relief flickering. Okay. Jack. Together. That night, Ethan slept. His rocket by his bed. Jack tucked him in, his heart heavy. Love you, buddy, he whispered, kissing his forehead. Mrs. Larson promised to stay, her knitting needles clicking. Jack and Emily drove to the old church, its steeple dark against the snow. The lot was empty, the doors locked. They waited, hidden by pines. The cold biting. Midnight came, the bell tolling faint. No one showed. Damn it, Emily hissed, her breath clouding. They're playing us. Jack scanned the dark, his hand on her arm. We're leaving. Now. Headlights flashed. A car pulling into the lot. Jack pulled Emily low, his heart racing. A man stepped out tall, in a suit, his face shadowed. He lit a cigarette, the glow catching his eyes cold, sharp. He scanned the church, then spoke. Low, Carter. You hear. Emily tensed, but Jack held her back. Don't, he whispered. It's him. The suit. The man waited, then tossed his cigarette, driving off. Jack exhaled, his grip easing. That was close. Emily's face was pale, fierce. He knows I'm here. Hale's closing in. Jack nodded, his jaw set. We're not running. Emily, tomorrow, we fight. They drove back, the snow falling thick, the night heavy with danger. Jack's hand found hers, a lifeline in the dark. Whatever came next, they'd face it together, past, present, and all the shadows beneath. The snow fell thick as Jack Thompson's truck rumbled back to Clearwater, the old church fading in the rear view. Emily Carter sat beside him, her face pale, her hands clenched around the note from her anonymous source. The man in the suit, Hale's man, they were sure had stood in the church lot, his cigarette glowing, his voice calling her name. They'd stayed hidden, hearts pounding, but the close call burned in Jack's chest. Victor Hale's net was tightening, and Emily's fight to expose his corruption was pulling them deeper into danger. The dashboard clock read 12 hours, 47 a.m., January 1995. The Minnesota winter unrelenting. Jack's eyes flicked to Emily, her blue eyes distant, haunted. He squeezed her hand, brief, grounding. We're okay, he said, his voice low. For now, Emily nodded, her voice tight. He knew my name. Jack. They're closer than I thought. Jack's jaw clenched, his mind on Ethan. Asleep at Mrs. Larson's. Safe for the moment. We need a new plan. Emily. No more midnight meetings. Too risky. She turned, her eyes fierce. I can't stop. Jack. That note. My source knows something. If I lose them, Hale wins. And if we walk into a trap, he shot back, his voice sharp. What then? Ethan needs me. Emily. I can't. I know. She cut in, soft, her hand touching his arm. I'd never risk him. Or you. But we're so close. Dad's files. Tom's story. We just need one more piece. Jack sighed, the road blurring under the wipers. Tom Miller's words at the mill echoed briefcases, late-night deals. Hale's empire built on stolen land. It was enough to rattle Hale, but not enough to bring him down. Emily's source, whoever they were, held the key, but trust was thin, and every step felt like walking on Lake Clearwater's brittle ice. We move the files again, he said. Firm, tomorrow. Somewhere Hale can't touch. Where? She asked, her voice small. Jack thought, his mind racing. The old water tower. Nobody goes there. Locked tight. But I know the key holder. Emily nodded, her face softening. Okay. And I'll try my source again. Safer this time. Jack glanced at her, the years between them fading in the dim light. Her determination. Her fire. It was the Emily he'd loved at 17, skating on the lake, dreaming of forever. But love wasn't enough. Not with Ethan's life on the line. No secrets. Emily, he said, his voice hard. You promise me that? I promise, she whispered. Her eyes locked on his. Everything. Jack. They reached his apartment. The town asleep under snow. Jack checked the locks, his boots leaving wet prints. Emily sank onto the couch, her coat still on, her face drawn. Sleep here, Jack said, grabbing a blanket. Ethan's at Larson's. Safer that way. She nodded. pulling the blanket close. Thank you, Jack, for staying. He paused, his heart twisting. Get some rest. Tomorrow's gonna be rough. Jack lay in his room, Ethan's star charts glowing faintly above. Sleep didn't come. Emily's presence, just feet away, stirred old wounds, her laugh. Her touch, the night she'd vanished. Now she was back. Her fight, his fight. But the cost loomed. Hale's man in the suit. Tom's warning. The break-in at the inn, it was a noose. Tightening slow. He thought of Ethan. His gap-toothed grin. His rocket dreams. Jack would burn the world to keep him safe. But Emily, she was part of that world now. And letting her go again felt impossible. Morning broke gray. The snow piled high. Jack woke to coffee brewing. Emily at the stove, her hair loose. Ethan's NASA mug in hand. Morning, she said, soft, offering a plate. Eggs. Found some in the fridge. Jack took it. Surprised. Didn't know you cooked. She smiled, faint. Learned in Chicago. Aunt Ruth was strict about it. He sat, the eggs warm. The moment oddly normal. Ethan's gonna love you, he said, then froze. The words heavy. Emily's eyes softened. Hopeful. I want to meet him. Jack, when it's safe. He nodded, his throat tight. Soon. Let's move those files first. They drove to Mrs. Teresa Larson's. Ethan bounding out, his scarf trailing. Dad, snow fort time. Jack laughed, lifting him. After school, buddy. Promise. Ethan's eyes flicked to Emily. Curious. You Dad's friend. She knelt, her smile warm. I'm Emily. Nice to meet you. Ethan. Cool scarf. He grinned, shy. Thanks. You like rockets? Love 'em, she said. Glancing at Jack. Your dad says you're a star. Ethan beamed, hugging Jack. See ya, Dad. Mrs. Larson appeared, her eyes sharp. Jack. That suit's back. At the gas station. Asking about you. Jack's gut twisted. But he kept his voice calm. What did he look like? Tall, fancy coat. She said, low. City type. Didn't like his eyes. Jack nodded, his mind racing. Thanks, Mrs. Larson. Keep Ethan close. Always, she said, shutting the door. In the truck. Emily's face was grim. Hale's not slowing down. No, Jack said, starting the engine, so we move faster. They grabbed the files from under Jack's bed, the metal box heavy with secrets. The water tower stood on Clearwater's edge, rusted but solid. Its ladder locked behind a gate. Jack called Pete, the maintenance guy, a mill buddy who owed him a favor. Need the tower key, Jack said. Casual, checking something for Ethan's project. Pete laughed, tossing him the key at the mill. Don't fall, hero. Jack grinned, pocketing it. No promises. At the tower. Snow swirled, the wind biting. Jack unlocked the gate, the ladder creaking under their weight. Inside, the air was cold. The floor damp. Jack hid the box in a maintenance hatch, bolting it shut. Safe, he said, dusting his hands. For now, Emily nodded, her breath clouding. Next. My source. I left a note at the inn. New meetup. Library. 3 hours, p.m. Jack's eyes narrowed. Libraries, public. Safer. But still risky. I know, she said, fierce. But it's my shot. He sighed, knowing she wouldn't budge. I'm with you. No arguments. She smiled. Soft. Deal. At Clearwater Library, the air smelled of old books and wax. Mrs. Ellis, the librarian, waved, her glasses slipping. Jack. Ethan's overdue on that space book. Jack chuckled. Sheepish. I'll get it back. Mrs. Ellis. They settled at a table. Emily's note tucked in a book. Meet me. History section. 3 hours p.m. No files. And she scanned the room. Her leg bouncing. Jack watched the door. His hand on his knife, hidden in his coat. The clock ticked. The library quiet, but for pages turning. At 3 hours 05, a woman entered mid-40s, mousy hair, a clerk's badge pinned to her sweater. She lingered by the history shelves, her eyes darting. Emily tensed, whispering, "That's her." Jack frowned. Low. "You sure?" Emily nodded, standing. "Stay here. Watch." She approached, casual. Pulling a book, the woman glanced up, her face pale, slipping Emily a folded paper. They spoke, brief. Heads close. Jack watched. His heart steady but ready. No one else moved. The library calm. Emily returned, her face tight, the paper in hand. "Let's go," she whispered. Outside, snow fell. The truck waiting. Jack started it. His voice low. What did she say? Emily unfolded the paper, a typed list. Names. Dates. She's Hale's secretary. Been with him 20 years. Says she saw payments. To Brody. Others. It's a ledger copy. Matches Dad's files. Jack's pulse raced. Hope rising. Enough to nail him. Maybe, she said, fierce. If she testifies, she's scared. Jack wants out. Who is she? He asked. Glancing at the paper, Laura Bennett. Emily said, lives out by the mill. Says Hale's watching her. Jack nodded, his mind turning. We protect her. Get her to Minneapolis. Your friend. Emily's eyes lit up, grateful. You're in Theron. Then he met her gaze, steady. For you, for Ethan, for this town. She touched his hand. Warm, real. Thank you, Jack. Back at the apartment, Ethan was home, his rocket model gleaming. Dad. Look, I added boosters. Jack grinned, kneeling. Looks ready for Mars, buddy. Ethan glanced at Emily, shy. You staying? She smiled. Soft. Just visiting. You're a cool kid, Ethan. He blushed, diving into his model. Jack watched, his heart full but heavy. Emily's fight was theirs now, and every choice risked Ethan's world. That night, Jack cooked chili, the kitchen warm, Ethan's laughter mixing with Emily's questions about space. For a moment, danger faded. The three of them, a fragile unit. After Ethan slept, Jack and Emily sat. The ledger copy spread out. Laura's key, Emily said. Tapping it. With this, Dad's files. Tom's story. We can break Hale. Jack nodded, grim. But Hale knows you're close. That suit's proof. I know, she said, her voice small. I'm scared. Jack. He reached for her, his hand on hers. Me too. But we're tougher than they are. She leaned closer, her eyes searching his. Jack, what are we? After this, he paused. The year's heavy. I don't know. But I want to find out. Her breath caught. Her face inches from his. She leaned in, their lips brushing, soft, tentative. Jack's heart raced. The past and present colliding. He pulled back. Gentle. Not yet. He whispered. Not till it's safe. She nodded, tears glistening. Okay, Jack. I'll wait. Morning brought a storm. Snow piling high. The town locked in. Jack woke to a call. Amy, the town clerk. Her voice tense. Jack. That suit's at the diner. Asking about Emily now. Jack's blood chilled, his voice calm. What's he saying? Wants to know where she's staying. Amy said. Martha shut him down. But he's pushy. Thanks. Amy, Jack said. Hanging up, he turned to Emily, asleep on the couch, her face peaceful. He hated waking her, but time was short. "Emily," he said, soft, shaking her shoulder. "He's back." At the diner, she sat up, fear flashing. "Hale's man." "Yeah," Jack said, grim. "We need Laura. Now, before he finds her." Emily nodded, grabbing her coat. "Her address is in the note. Mill Road. Small house." They left Ethan with Mrs. Larson. Her eyes worried. "Jack, this ain't right. That man's trouble." "I know," Jack said. "Low, keep Ethan safe." "Like my own," she promised. The Mill Road was slick, the storm raging. Laura's house was small, its lights dim. Jack knocked, Emily behind him, snow in their hair. Laura opened the door, her face pale, a suitcase half-packed. "You're her," she said, eyeing Emily. I can't do this." Emily stepped forward, fierce. "Laura, you're not alone. We have proof. Hale's going down." Laura's eyes darted, scared. "He knows I talked, sent someone last night." Watching, Jack's gut twisted. "The suit," she nodded, trembling, tall, cold eyes. Said I'd regret it." Jack glanced outside, the storm hiding any watchers. "Come with us," he said, firm. "Minneapolis. We'll protect you." Laura hesitated, then nodded, grabbing her bag. "Okay, but he'll find us." "Not if we move fast," Emily said, her voice steady. They piled into the truck, Laura in back, her hands shaking. The storm worsened, visibility near zero. Jack drove slow, his eyes scanning. A mile out, headlights flared behind them. High and close, trouble, Jack muttered, his grip tightening. Emily turned, her face pale. "It's him." The car, a black sedan, stayed close, its lights blinding. Jack accelerated, the truck fishtailing. Laura whimpered, clutching her bag. "He's gonna kill us." "Hold on," Jack said, his voice hard. He knew these roads, every curve, every ditch. He turned sharp onto a logging trail, the sedan following. Trees loomed, snow flying. The trail narrowed, the truck scraping pines. "Jack," Emily cried, bracing herself. He pushed harder, the sedan gaining. A gunshot cracked, the rear window shattering. Laura screamed, ducking. Jack swerved, his heart pounding. "Stay down," he shouted. The trail ended at a clearing, the old quarry dark ahead. Jack slammed the brakes, the truck skidding. The sedan stopped, its door opening. The suit stepped out, gun in hand, his coat flapping. "Carter," he yelled, his voice cutting through the storm. "Give me the files." Jack turned to Emily, his eyes fierce. "Take Laura. Run. Quarry shed. Left side. Hide." "No," she said, desperate. "I'm not leaving you." "Go," he roared, shoving her door open. "For Ethan." Emily hesitated, then grabbed Laura, running into the snow. Jack stepped out, his knife in hand, the poker from the cabin in his coat. The suit approached, his gun steady, his face cold. "Where's she going?" "Thompson." Jack stood tall, snow in his eyes. "Away from you." The suit laughed, sharp. "Hale said you're stubborn, said to deal with you first." Jack's heart raced, Ethan's face in his mind. He lunged, the poker swinging, catching the suit's arm. The gun fired. Wild, the bullet grazing Jack's shoulder. Pain flared, but he tackled the suit, both crashing into the snow. The gun skidded, lost in the white. They fought, fists and elbows, the storm swallowing their grunts. The suit was strong, trained, But Jack was desperate, a father with everything to lose. He pinned the suit, his knife at his throat. "Who sent you?" Jack growled. "Blood dripping. Hale." The suit gasped, his eyes cold. "You're dead. Thompson." "Both of you." Jack pressed harder, the blade biting. "Tell him to come himself." He knocked the suit out, his fist aching, then tied him with rope from the truck, leaving him in the snow. Blood soaked Jack's sleeve, but he ignored it. Running for the shed. "Emily." He called, his voice raw. She emerged, Laura behind. Her face pale. "Jack, you're hurt." "I'm fine." He lied, his shoulder burning. "He's down. We need to move." They piled back in, the truck struggling through the storm. Laura sobbed, Emily holding her hand. Jack drove, his vision blurring, the pain spreading. Minneapolis was hours away. The storm slowing them. "Call your friend," he told Emily, his voice tight. "Tell her we're coming." Emily nodded, using his ancient phone, the signal weak. "Rachel, it's Emily. We're in trouble. Can you—" "Yeah, 3 of us. Thank you." She hung up, her eyes on Jack. "She's ready." Safe house. "Downtown." Jack nodded, his hands shaking. "Good. Stay sharp." Hours later, Minneapolis loomed, its lights dim through the snow. Rachel's safe house was a small apartment, its windows dark. Rachel short, sharp-eyed. A journalist like Emily let them in, her face grim. "You look like hell," she told Emily, hugging her. "Who's this?" "Jack," Emily said, her voice soft. "And Laura." "Our witness." Rachel nodded, eyeing Jack's bloodied shoulder. "Get inside. I'll call a doctor." Jack sank onto a couch, the room spinning. Laura sat, silent, her bag clutched tight. Emily knelt by Jack, her hands gentle, cleaning his wound with a cloth. "You scared me," she whispered, tears falling. "Don't do that again." He managed a smile. "Weak. No promises." The doctor came, a quiet man who stitched Jack's shoulder. "No questions asked. Rest," he said, "leaving, or it'll tear." Jack nodded, exhaustion hitting. Rachel brought coffee, her voice low. "You've got Hale's attention. My sources say he's furious, pulling strings." Emily's face hardened. "Good. Means we're close." Rachel glanced at Laura. Skeptical. "She'll talk." Laura nodded, her voice small. I will, for my kids. Hale can't own us forever." Jack watched, pride mixing with fear. Emily's fight was real, her father's legacy alive, but Hale's reach was long, and Ethan was still in Clearwater, vulnerable. "We need to move fast," Jack said, his voice rough. "Get Laura's story out before Hale strikes again." Rachel nodded, pulling a laptop. "I'll draft it." "Emily, you verify." "Laura, you talk." They worked, the night stretching, Jack fading in and out. Emily's voice anchored him, her hand brushing his. He thought of Ethan, his rocket, his dreams. He'd get back to him, no matter what. Dawn broke, the storm easing. Rachel's article was done, Laura's ledger, Tom's story. The files woven tight. "This'll hit the wires tomorrow." Rachel said, "Fierce." "Hale's done." Emily hugged her, tears falling. "Thank you." "Rachel." Jack stood, his shoulder throbbing. "I need to get Ethan." "Bring him here." Emily nodded, her eyes worried. "Be careful." "Jack, Hale's not finished." "I know," he said, pulling her close, his lips brushing her forehead. "I'll be back." He left, the truck cold, Minneapolis fading behind. Clearwater was 2 hours away, Ethan waiting. Jack's shoulder burned, his heart heavier. Hale's man was down, but others would come. Emily's fight was his, but Ethan was his world. Whatever came next, he'd face it for them. For love, for the truth breaking through the storm. Jack Thompson's truck roared toward Clearwater, the Minnesota snowlighter now. The storm fading as dawn broke over the pines. His shoulder throbbed. The stitches from Minneapolis pulling with every turn, but his mind was on Ethan, his son, safe with Mrs. Larson, unaware of the danger Victor Hale's men posed. Emily Carter's fight to expose Hale's corruption had become Jack's. Her father's files and Laura Bennett's testimony, now a ticking bomb set to hit the news. But Hale wouldn't go quietly. And Jack knew the final battle was coming. January 1995 stretched cold and unforgiving. Yet hope burned in his chest, hope for Ethan, for Emily, for a future he'd stopped dreaming of years ago. The road stretched ahead. Clearwater's lights faint in the distance. He gripped the wheel, his green eyes steady, whatever waited. He'd face it, at Mrs. Larson's. Ethan leapt into Jack's arms, his NASA hoodie warm, his grin wide. "Dad, you're back. Where's Emily?" Jack hugged him tight, pain flaring in his shoulder. "She's safe, buddy, working on something big." Mrs. Larson stood by, her eyes sharp. "Jack, that suit's gone, but folks are talking. Sheriff's asking questions, too." Jack's gut twisted, but he nodded. Calm. "Thanks, Mrs. Larson." "Ethan, grab your bag. We're heading out." Ethan frowned, sensing trouble. "Where?" "Dad, somewhere safe," Jack said, ruffling his hair. "Trust me." "Okay." Ethan nodded, grabbing his rocket model, its fins glinting. Jack led him to the truck, scanning the street, empty, but heavy with eyes. Clearwater felt different now, its quiet hiding Hale's reach. He drove fast, heading for Minneapolis. Ethan beside him, the radio low. "Dad," Ethan said, soft. "Is Emily your girlfriend?" Jack glanced at him, surprised, a smile tugging. "She was a long time ago, maybe again." "You cool with that?" Ethan grinned. Shy. "Yeah? She's nice. Knows space stuff." Jack laughed, his heart easing. "That's my boy." The drive was tense, Jack's eyes flicking to the rear view, expecting headlights. None came, but his shoulder burned. His strength fading, Ethan's chatter rockets. Stars. NASA kept him grounded. By noon, Minneapolis rose, its skyline sharp against the gray. Rachel's safe house waited. Emily and Laura inside, their story ready to break Hale's empire. Rachel opened the door, her face tense. "Jack, you're late." Emily's a wreck. Jack stepped in. Ethan behind, his hand tight in Jack's. Emily rushed forward, her blue eyes wet, hugging Jack hard. "You're okay," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Yeah," he said, wincing, her touch warm. "Ethan, this is Emily." Ethan waved, clutching his rocket. "Hi, cool place." Emily smiled, kneeling. "Hey, Ethan, that rocket's awesome. Want to show me?" He nodded, brightening. Following Rachel to the kitchen, Jack pulled Emily aside, his voice low. "What's the plan?" She held up a fax, fresh from Rachel's printer. Laura's statement, signed, "My articles with the Star Tribune. Hits tomorrow. Hale's named land deals, payoffs, Brody's cut, all tied to Dad's files." Jack's pulse raced, hope rising. Enough to end him, with Laura testifying. "Yes," she said. Fierce. "Rachel's got a lawyer ready. Federal, not local. Hale can't touch them." Jack nodded. "Grim, and us. He'll come hard." Emily. "I know," she said, her hand on his. "Rachel's got a safe place. Up north, we hide till it breaks." Jack glanced at Ethan, laughing with Rachel. his rocket on the table. He comes with us. No debate. Never, Emily said, soft. He's family. The word hit Jack, stirring something deep. Family him. Ethan. Maybe Emily. He pushed it down, focusing. When do we move? Tonight, she said. Laura's staying here with Rachel. Feds are coming tomorrow. Jack nodded, exhaustion hitting. Good. I need to sit. Emily's eyes widened, seeing his pallor. Jack, your shoulder. I'm fine. He lied, sinking onto the couch. She sat beside him, her hand gentle, checking his bandage. Blood seeped through, fresh. You're not fine, she said. Fierce. Rachel's doctor's coming. No arguments. He managed a smile. Weak. Bossy as ever. She laughed, tears falling. For you, always. Ethan ran over, his eyes worried. Dad, you hurt. Just a scratch, buddy, Jack said, ruffling his hair. I'm tough. Ethan nodded, unconvinced, curling up beside him. Emily watched, her heart full. Jack held them both, the room quiet. Danger distant for a moment, but Hale's shadow loomed, and Jack knew peace was fleeting. The doctor came, grumbling, restitching Jack's shoulder. No more heroics, he said. Packing up, or you'll lose the arm. Jack nodded, his strength low. Rachel brought soup, Laura silent at the table. Her face drawn. I'm scared, Laura whispered, her hands shaking. Hale, he'll kill me. Emily knelt by her. Fierce. He won't. You're free, Laura. You did the right thing, Laura nodded. Tears falling. For my kids. They deserve better. Jack watched. Pride mixing with fear. Laura's courage mirrored Emily's. Her father's legacy alive in every word, but Hale's men, the suit. Others wouldn't stop. Rachel, Jack said, low. You armed, she nodded. Grim, pulling a pistol from a drawer. Locked and loaded. You. Jack patted his knife, the poker in his coat. Enough. Night fell. The city humming outside. Rachel's plan was set. Jack, Emily, and Ethan to a cabin in Duluth. 3 hours north. Laura and Rachel stayed. Meeting the feds at dawn. Jack packed Ethan's bag, his rocket tucked safe, ready. Buddy, he asked, his voice soft. Yeah, Ethan said, sleepy, clutching Emily's hand. Is it an adventure? Jack smiled, his heart tight. Biggest one yet. They left at midnight. The truck loaded, Rachel's pistol in the glove box. Emily sat close, Ethan between them, his head on her shoulder. The highway was dark, snow dusting the road. Jack drove, his eyes heavy, Emily's voice low. When this is over, she said, soft. What do you want? Jack. He glanced at her. Ethan asleep. The question heavy. You, he said. Honest. Us. A life. Her eyes glistened. Her hand finding his. Me too. No more running. He nodded. Hope fragile but real. No more running. An hour out. Headlights flared behind. High and fast. Jack's heart sank. His grip tightening. Trouble. He muttered, waking Emily. She turned, her face pale. Hale. Has to be, he said, accelerating. The car, a dark SUV, gained, its lights blinding. Ethan stirred, scared. Dad, stay down. Buddy, Jack said. Calm, Emily. The gun, she grabbed it. Her hands steady. What's the plan? Outrun them, Jack said. The truck rattling. If not, we fight. The SUV swerved, pulling alongside, its window down. A man leaned out. Gun glinting. Pull over. Thompson, he shouted, his voice cold. Jack swerved. The truck fishtailing. Ethan gasping. "Hold on," Jack yelled, turning onto a side road, trees closing in. The SUV followed, relentless. A shot cracked, the side mirror shattering. Emily ducked, shielding Ethan. "Jack," she cried, her voice raw. He pushed harder. The road narrowing, snow flying. The SUV rammed them, metal screaming. Jack fought the wheel, the truck skidding. "Emily, shoot," he shouted. She leaned out, firing, the pistol kicking. The SUV swerved, its tire blowing. Spinning into a ditch, Jack didn't stop. Driving blind, his shoulder screaming. "They down," he gasped. Blood soaking his shirt. "Yeah," Emily said, panting, her face white. "For now," Ethan sobbed, clinging to her. "I'm scared. Dad." "I know, buddy," Jack said, his voice breaking. "You're safe, I promise." They drove on, the SUV gone. The night swallowing them, Jack's vision blurred. Pain spreading. Emily touched his arm. Worried. "Jack, you're bleeding. Pull over." "Can't," he said. Grim. "Not till we're safe." She nodded, her hand on Ethan's head, soothing him. "We're close." "Jack, you're doing it." He clung to her voice, the road a haze. Duluth's lights appeared, faint. The cabin minutes away. Jack parked, the truck shuddering, his strength gone. Emily helped him out, Ethan carrying his rocket. Tears dried. The cabin was small, wood stacked, a frozen lake nearby. Inside, a fire waited. Rachel's contact ready. Jack collapsed on a couch. Emily beside him, her hands gentle. "You're okay," she whispered, cleaning his wound. "We made it." He nodded, faint. "Ethan, safe," she said, glancing at him. Asleep by the fire, his rocket close. "He's tough, like you." Jack smiled. "Weak. Like us." She leaned in, her lips brushing his, soft. "Real. Rest." "Jack, I've got you." He closed his eyes, her touch anchoring him. The storm was over, but Hale's reckoning waited. Tomorrow, the world would know. Morning broke clear, the lake outside sparkling. Jack woke, his shoulder bandaged. Emily beside him, her hand in his. Ethan sat by the window, his rocket gleaming. Stars in his eyes. "Dad. Look, it's like space out there." Jack laughed. "Pain dull now." "Sure is, buddy." Emily stirred, her smile warm. "News is out," Rachel called. Articles everywhere, Hale's named. Laura's talking. Feds are moving. Jack's chest eased. Hope rising. "It's done." "Almost," she said. Fierce. "Hale's running." "But they'll get him." Ethan ran over, hugging them. "We're a team." "Right?" Jack pulled him close. Emily's arm around them. "Yeah. Buddy. Best team." The day passed quiet, the cabin warm. Ethan's laughter filling it. Jack watched Emily. Her curls loose, her eyes bright. Teaching Ethan about constellations. His heart swelled. She was home. Not a ghost. The past was gone. The future theirs to build. That evening, Rachel called, her voice sharp. "Hale's arrested. Feds got him in Chicago. Trying to flee. Laura's safe. Testifying tomorrow." Emily exhaled, tears falling. "Dad, we did it." Jack held her, his voice soft. "You did, Emily." He'd be proud. She nodded, sobbing, her face in his chest. "Thank you, Jack, for everything." He kissed her forehead. "Real, steady. We're just starting." Weeks later, Clearwater bloomed with spring, the lake thawing. Its ice gone, Hale's empire crumbled. His men in jail, The town council gutted. Jack stood by the lake, Ethan beside him, his rocket ready. Emily approached, her notepad tucked away, her smile free. Ready. Ethan, she asked, kneeling. Yeah, he said, lighting the fuse. The rocket soared, a streak against the sky. Ethan cheering. Jack watched, his arm around Emily, her warmth real. Marry me, she whispered, her eyes locked on his. Jack froze, his heart racing. You sure? She nodded. Fierce. 15 years. Jack, I'm done waiting. He pulled her close, kissing her deep. Ethan giggling beside them. Yes, he said, his voice raw. Always. The wedding was small. At Clearwater's church, summer sun streaming through. Ethan stood as best man, his tie crooked, his grin wide. Mrs. Larson cried. Martha served pie. Tom Miller toasted Jack's courage. Emily glowed. Her dress simple, her hands steady in Jack's. I love you, she said. Her vows clear. Forever. Forever, Jack echoed. His ring on her finger, Ethan hugging them tight. They moved to a house by the lake, small but theirs. Ethan's star charts on the walls. Emily wrote. Her book on her father's fight a bestseller. A scholarship fund in his name sending Ethan to space camp. Jack worked the mill. His shoulder healed. His heart full. Nights found them by the lake. Ethan stargazing. Emily's head on Jack's shoulder. One evening, she smiled, her hand on her belly. Jack, we're growing. He laughed, tears falling, pulling her close. Another star. Huh, yeah, she said, her eyes bright. Ours. Clearwater shone. Its secrets gone, its heart open. Jack held his family. The lake calm. The stars above endless. Love. Courage. Truth they'd won. And the light beyond was theirs. Thank you, listeners, for joining me through this incredible journey in Clearwater. Your support keeps these stories alive. If you loved Jack, Emily, and Ethan's tale, hit that like button. Drop a comment. Tell me your favorite moment or where you're listening from. It means the world. Stay tuned for more heart-pounding stories. And I'll catch you next time. Keep dreaming big. And keep the coffee hot.